Gut feeling. Acknowledgement reframed as self-management. I remember the night I decided to leave. Not the argument, not the specific incident that finally tipped it, the night itself. I slept well for the first time in months. I took that as confirmation. Something had settled. The uncertainty that had been sitting in my chest for what felt like years had gone quiet. I called it peace. I told people close to me that I finally knew what I had to do. My children's well-being, I said. That was the reason. And I believed it completely. What I couldn't see from inside it, was that the peace wasn't an answer. It was ambivalence finally collapsing. In the weeks before the decision, I had been collecting evidence. Not consciously. I wasn't aware of building anything. But I was talking. Telling people about the bad moments, sharing incidents, describing behavior that troubled me. Each conversation felt like processing. What it was doing underneath the processing was something else. It was assembling a case, not for anyone else, for me, against my own doubt. The doubt was still there. The reminder existed precisely because the doubt existed. I didn't know that then. I thought the good sleep I was having was the result of just doing the right thing. My concern for my children was genuine. I want to be clear about that. Whatever that concern was, I had just agreed to leave them with her for 5 days a week. The weekends would be mine. But I noticed something later that I couldn't see at the time. When it came to the children, I agreed quickly. It felt reasonable. It felt civil. What I didn't examine was why I agreed so quickly, and what that agreement said about where the children actually sat in the decision. The contradiction was quietly present the whole time. I just couldn't look at it directly. Would that looking have destabilized my certainty? And that is the thing about this kind of certainty. It's fragile. It needs maintenance. The videos I saved, the conversations I had, the incidents I described to people close to me, these weren't just processing. They were the maintenance. Each retelling suppressed the pull in the other direction. The pull to stay, to try again, to wonder whether I was seeing clearly. And management can feel exactly like resolution. From inside it, there is no difference. The sleep comes, the peace arrives, the certainty settles. Someone close to me pointed this out at the time, not harshly, carefully. They said, "You are collecting evidence against your own doubt." I didn't hear it as an observation. I heard it as an argument. I responded what I felt, the peace, the certainty, the children. I defended the conclusion rather than looked at the process that produced it, which was precisely what he had been pointing at. I couldn't see it then. Decisions were difficult exactly because of the good times. This kind of certainty doesn't require a bad marriage. It only requires unexamined ambivalence and something to construct coherence from. Opinions, standpoints, positions held long enough to feel like perception. The process is not personal. It doesn't belong to this marriage. It was already assembling the case before the marriage became the material. If you nodded along right now, these ideas were simply measured against positions you already hold. Some so old they no longer feel like positions at all. They feel like truths. This is what gets skipped, not the decision, not the arrangement, not the therapy or the legal framework or the documentation of incidents. These are addressed, negotiated, resolved. And then the same structure that produced this situation quietly reassembles around new material, a new relationship, a new conflict, a new set of contents. The cycle doesn't break, it relocates. What would it mean to look at the process rather than the contents? Not as a method, not as something to practice toward a result, just to see it operating, the case building itself, the doubt being suppressed, the peace arriving on cue, the certainty that needs a reminder to remain certain. You don't remind yourself of something you are certain about. That sentence just landed somewhere in you, filed perhaps, agreed with, stored under insight. That movement, the one that just happened, is the process.